Oh, God. Another week of this bullshit. And I'm ready. You know, folks, I often wonder to myself, why do I do this? Why do I put this podcast out every 2 weeks? Do I do it for the power? Do I do it for the fame? Do I do it because I just have nothing better to do every other Saturday and Sunday out of my life? A little bit of all three. Welcome, folks, to episode 8 of Sleeping In with Matt Freed. Now, this week, we've got our very good friend, Mr. Myq Kaplan, swinging by to climb into bed. You may have heard of Myq from a funny little show called Last Comic Standing. This past season, Myq finished as one of the top 5 finalists and now tours nationally with the Last Comic Standing National Tour. Also, in addition to Last Comic Standing, he also released his first album this year, Vegan Mind Meld, which was recorded right here in New York City. Myq is definitely one of the funniest, quick-witted individuals that I've ever met in my life. And granted, it's been a pretty short life for me, but it's a life nonetheless. It's Myq Kaplan. It's episode 8 of Sleeping In with Matt Freed. I'll catch you on the flip side. Talk to you in a moment.
I live in New York, and I saw a sign on a guy's car in New York that said, "Nothing of value in car." Right on the dashboard, "Nothing of value in car." I was like, that is a nice sign, so I broke in and took it. I left my own sign that says, "Now you're right." So
that was the goal when I put this whole thing together. I just simply said, if I can get Myq Kaplan in my bed with me at any time, that's what matters most.
You know, the only thing I think that this could blow up in your face is if you make it huge, then people are like, well, he just slept with all these famous people. He got all these famous people in bed. Not that I'm a famous, you've gotten much more famous. Let's start over. Okay, so, hey everybody, I'm famous Myq Kaplan. If you don't know who I am, it's because you haven't learned enough about famous people. So Matt Freed here, I assume you only interview famous people. You named a bunch of friends of mine who also qualify as equally famous. I'm no more famous than anybody else. Famous internet viewers. Okay, so are we rolling? Good.
I learned from Baron Vaughn that you got your start in Boston. Can you talk a little bit about your early days on the Boston comedy scene?
I can and will. To you, naturally, as though we're having a conversation.
Totally. And that there's not a crew there at all.
Forget it, guys. What guys? Nothing. Yeah, not even a camera. How did this tape exist?
What?
So, yeah, that was a very Baron Vaughn kind of musical interlude.
I'm quietly stalking you.
Yeah, I was in Boston for school. I went to my undergraduate degree, get that. I went to my undergraduate degree, and I got it. They were like, hey, come and get your degree. Oh, there it is. I didn't make a mistake. And then I was going to Boston universities for grad school. Universities? What is going on? I went to get my master at universities and Boston grads. Yeah. So, and it's in linguistics, which is the study of language. So nothing I'm doing's wrong, everybody. We're all fine. Whatever you say, that's the way it is. So, while I was at Brandeis, I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. That was my main goal. I was like, college, who cares? I like information, but I like writing songs, and I had some of them that were funny in my mind, and also audiences would laugh at them. So I went to a comedy club, among other places, that just anywhere they'd let me perform. And the club was the Comedy Studio in Cambridge, Massachusetts, right across from Harvard. So it was I just happened to play some music there, and then little by little, I liked the idea of like saying things that weren't songs that were funny. So little by little, I worked the guitar out of my act, and that was my start in Boston comedy about 8 years ago.
Oh wow!
There was just a few clubs, and then just all these other smaller venues, and I just went to all of them and kept writing and performing jokes. And Boston turned out to be a great city, and so it was sort of like a nice small community, like as compared to New York, where there's probably thousands of people aspiring to or professionally working in or somewhere in between doing comedy. But in Boston, there was probably like a few hundred people. So once you were doing it for a couple weeks, months, a year, like you would get around to all the places, you'd meet all the people, wow. And you would as long as once they saw that you were doing it, you were like committing to being out there. They're like, oh, this guy again, this guy, like. after the first couple times that I performed, like I showed up at the Comedy Studio to watch a show, and this guy at the door, Rich Gustis, who was just a comedian, like comedians would help run the place, work the door, clean up, and he was like, "Hey, you're a comedian, you don't have to pay, come on in." And I was like, "I'm a comedian?" Because of that, I didn't even think, I'm like, "I'm an aspiring musician, you must have me, I'll take a free ticket."
It must be a nice support network also to go from Boston to New York, to be their New York half familiar faces to rely on.
Oh, certainly.
Have something of like a subculture community to rely on.
Coming to New York, right before I moved here even, I would, come down, and I had some friends who had already moved from Boston, like John Fish is a comedian, a friend of mine, Joe List, Dan Hershon, and so they, they sort of introduced me to some people, but and then when you get here, it's sort of, you're starting over anyway. You're sort of on your own. You're like, "Hey, how's it going for you? Oh, bad? Oh, great. Okay." And me too. We're in it together.
What is the one thing that makes you laugh the most? Like when you're going through the joke writing process, or even just things that you're reacting to that you're watching?
Farts. Nope. Here are some things that usually, I'm not going to say that they're funny all the time, but
right.
I think maybe they're just things that I will go to in jokes sometimes and be like, maybe this will make this funny. Amnesia.
Okay.
Ninjas.
Okay.
Santa.
All right.
And robots.
All right.
And maybe pirates. Okay. So, if Santa forgot who he was, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, ho, 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 I guess I'm a pirate," because they talk like that as well. And no, you're not, Santa's not real, you're a robot. And then a ninja chops off his head. Was that everything? Great. So yeah, I guess those are I should just name those 5 things.
So if you were going to pitch a project to Myq Kaplan, ladies and gentlemen, just remember those notes right there.
Santa, ninja, robot, pirate, amnesia.
What are the ideal career goals for you right now as a comedian? Is it to be a comedian, to move on to writing? Where is that for you exactly?
I love doing stand-up. I love the fact that I can just do that, and especially now, so the next goal, if you talked to me, a couple of months ago, before Last Comic Standing, I would have said the next goal would be to have people know specifically who I am and come out to see me, rather than just showing up wherever people are like, "Comedian, please." You fit this category. Where nobody else is, people aren't just like, "Let's go see movie tonight." Who cares what kind of movie? We'll go to movie club. But yeah, so that's how a lot of comedy is. In a town, they're just which works sometimes. At Acme, you don't have to know who's going to be there this week. They're just like, "Yeah, they put on good comedy," But obviously, not every comedian's for everybody. So I want to reach as many people out there who would enjoy me, and that's Last Comic Standing did a great job of letting millions of people see me, and if there's some people that are like, "Meh," then they're like, "Okay, well then, meh to you too." And for the people who are like, "Mah," then mah to you too. So meh, mah, that's my career goal, is to just separate the Miz from the Mahs.
Well, Myq, thank you so much for being a part of Sleeping In with Matt Freed this week.
Thank you for shaking hands with Myq Kaplan this week.
No problem, ladies and
They face a lot of discrimination, women do. I heard about this group of feminists protesting the term manhole. A manhole right in the ground. A person of either gender can go through one of those. I agree. Sexist term. We should call them street vaginas from now on. The manholes, not the women. That would be rude. Thanks a lot, everybody. You guys have been great.
And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up episode 8 of Sleeping In with Matt Freed. Guys, I cannot believe it, but the holidays are here. We are in full swing. The next time we see you, it could very well be 2011. In fact, actually, thinking about the production calendar right now, it will be 2011. We will be back the 1st or 2nd week of January, I think. Anyway, folks, just one last quick thing. Merry Christmas to all you Christians out there. Happy Kwanzaa to all of our African American viewers out there, and people who want to be African American viewers like Geraldo. You can find us at www.sleepinpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at @sleepinpodcast as well. Merry Christmas! Happy Kwanzaa! Happy Ramadan! Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt Freed. Later.